My name's Lacey and I'm the software developer behind the AlphaSphere and its AlphaLive software. In this tutorial video, I'm going to show you how to use the AlphaSphere as the multi-channel MIDI instrument with ImageLine's FL Studio. I've also made videos for a number of other DAWs, so make sure you check out the ones that are relevant to the DAWs that you use. Also, please note that this is part 2 of the using the AlphaSphere as a multi-channel MIDI instrument tutorial, so if you haven't done so yet, you may want to first check out part 1 of the tutorial, where I go over how to program the sphere to be a multi-channel MIDI instrument using its AlphaLive software. So in this video, I'm going to cover 3 main things within FL Studio: how to connect multi-channel MIDI instruments, how to add new instrument tracks and assign individual MIDI channels to each, and finally give an example of how you can map MIDI CC controls to software parameters. So here I have ImageLine's FL Studio 11 running on Windows. I've got a new NP project open, which I set up by going to File and New. The AlphaSphere is plugged into the computer, and as you can see, I've got my AlphaLive application running, and I'm using the AlphaLive project that we created in part 1 of this tutorial, which essentially set different MIDI channels to the different rows of pads. First, let's go over how to connect the AlphaSphere to FL Studio and set up its MIDI input. To do this, you need to go to the Options menu at the top and click on MIDI Settings. This should open up the MIDI settings for FL Studio. Halfway down the display there should be an input section, and by default the AlphaSphere MIDI input should appear here. You want to make sure that the second column is set to generic controller, which you can set here, and make sure that this column is on. If it's currently off, just click this enabled box here. And that's all you need to do to connect the AlphaSphere to FL Studio. Next, I'm going to show you how we go about adding 3 virtual instruments to FL Studio and giving each one a different MIDI channel. To add some instruments to our project, we need to add some channels. To do this, go to the Channels menu at the top, click Add One, and then choose an instrument that you want to add. So the first instrument I'm going to add is Sakura here. I'm going to try and find a nice lead sound. So just selected a keyboard preset, and when I press pads on the AlphaSphere it should trigger this instrument. Now let's repeat this process 2 more times to have a total of 3 instruments in our project. So I'm going to close this instrument, go to Channel, Add One. This time let's add this instrument here. And let's find a pad sound. Select that preset. Sound will do. Now let's add our third and final instrument. Let's try the Poison instrument. And this time let's find a bass sound. That sound will be good. Just before we continue, let's just remove the default sample instrument that was added to our new project when we created it. So just right click on it and click delete. So now we have 3 virtual instruments in our FL Studio project. The MIDI channels are assigned to different instruments in FL Studio based on the order that you have arranged the instruments in this channel window. So here, Sakura will be set to MIDI channel 1, Sawyer will be set to MIDI channel 2, and Poison will be set to MIDI channel 3. If you want to rearrange the MIDI channels, all you have to do is select the track by clicking on this little button here, holding Alt, and then using the up and down arrow buttons to reorder the instruments. And this will essentially reorder which instrument is set to which MIDI channel. But let's just stick to what we had at the beginning. Then the last thing we need to do is select all tracks. So to do that, just right click on each of these little buttons so they're all green. And now when you press the different pads on the AlphaSphere, they'll be triggering the different instruments. So finally, I'm going to give you an example of how you can map the MIDI CC pads from the AlphaSphere to control software parameters within FL Studio. So first, go up to the options menu at the top and make sure that this Enable MIDI Remote Control is ticked. Next, find the software parameter that you want to control with a MIDI CC message. So I'm going to open up this instrument here, and I want to control this amount parameter. So all you need to do is right click on the parameter and select Link to Controller. Now make sure that this Auto Detect option is selected. Then all you need to do is press the MIDI CC pad on the AlphaSphere that you want to use, and the software should automatically pick it up. So I'm going to press one of the pads on the top row of the AlphaSphere. I pressed it, and as you can see now, it's automatically controlling the chosen parameter. So let's try that with a couple of other parameters. I'm going to choose this offset parameter, click Link to Controller, Auto Detect is on, press another pad, and it's automatically connected. Just do it one more time. Select another pad, and now we're controlling all these instruments' software parameters using MIDI CC pads on the AlphaSphere. So that's how you use the AlphaSphere as a multi-channel MIDI instrument with FL Studio. If you use any other DAWs, make sure you check out the other relevant videos, and make sure you check out our other tutorial videos as well. Thanks for watching.